Hello everybody, welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be the weekly twin astrology forecast for the Twin Flame Collective for the week ahead. We do have some very intense energies this week leading up to that full moon in Virgo. So today we have the moon in Leo, which is really triggering a lot of aggressive energies. A lot of repressed anger coming to the surface to be dealt with. And I do feel this is a very important week when it comes to the divine masculine preparing to take some action. So we really don't have any major transits until about Wednesday, other than the energy we're sifting through with the moon aspects. But on Wednesday this week, we do have the sun in Pisces, sextile the North Node in Taurus. So with the North Node in Taurus, it's all about what do we value? What do we want to bring into our life? And with the Sun sextile North Node, I think this aspect is really going to kind of keep you stuck in the past a little bit, but it is going to open up the doorway for an opportunity in order to work through all of this past life karma and to evolve beyond it. So I feel there's a lot being worked through in the karmic contracts when it comes to clearing out all of these karmic timelines. And on Wednesday, I feel this aspect is really going to give the divine masculine a choice. It's really going to shine some light on the divine masculine soul's purpose, and it's going to illuminate both the past and the future. So, you know, the North Node energy, this represents what our soul is working towards this life, and the South Node is our past life self, our past life energy, who we were in a past life. So, you know, to shift into the North Node really is an incredibly important aspect when it comes to our natal chart. So, you know, this is going to have a very strong impact in the energies this week where the divine masculine can no longer simply ignore these relationship issues. I think this is really going to be a beneficial week for the twins when it comes to digging deep into our emotions, healing these old wounds, and pushing each other to grow towards our true lunar North Node, to go towards our true north. So, you know, that energy is coming in on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, St. Patrick's Day, luck of the Irish to ya, but we do have Lilith square the sun that day, and we also have Mercury sextile Uranus. So what this is bringing forward is a lot of strong-willed personas, as well as a lot of progressive thinking when it comes to unfinished business from the past. So, you know, Lilith is that dark moon Lilith energy, our dark repressed aspects when it comes to our sexual instincts, our deep desires, who we truly are. And I feel this really is an important aspect when it comes to developing a healthy sense of ego. So with the combination of the sun's illumination and positivity and Lilith's dark aspects, blending the two together, it's going to create all kinds of power play dynamics when it comes to dominance. So I feel the masculine's really learning that, you know, he can't have everything in his life that he wants. And, you know, a lot of these masculines have abided by these societal standards in these false karmic contracts. And I feel this is bringing forward a lot of aggressive energy when it comes to understanding your needs without any fear. So, you know, this is going to be a positive shift where I feel the masculine is going to be forced to go forward. And I think a lot of extreme upheaval in the energies in order to get the masculine to bring his strong will energy to the surface. I think a lot of the karmics are being very aggressive, trying to prevail and control the divine masculine, creating all kinds of tension that is going to compel the divine masculine to take action towards the feminine in order to attain that harmony. And I think this is going to trigger that simmering raw rage from the karmic. So you are going to want to protect your energy this week, divine feminine, because this aspect really is creating all kinds of agitation in the masculine's life. So this is going to be a really tough energy for the masculine to deal with, creating all kinds of hindrances within his reality in order to get back into a state of equality. So I kind of feel this energy is steering the masculine to, you know, aim for the sky, to break free from these limitations and these refined energies, and to finally assert himself. I also feel a lot of the karmics are going to try to sexually assert the masculine to keep them stuck in this fantasy and in this illusion. And with Mercury sextile Uranus, this really is unfinished business from the past that is needing to come up to be dealt with once and for all. It's essential to the twins stepping into freedom, freeing the mind, freeing the heart, freeing all of these physical and emotional levels of limitation is kind of what I feel. So a lot of higher thought processing where the mind is going to feel like it's kind of soaring in this perpetual state of motion with all of these cosmic energies. So this intense buildup of inner pressure is boiling to the surface when it comes to all of this silence between the counterparts. And in order for the masculine to return to a state of calm, he's going to have to empty the mind and release all of this agitated, stimulating energies. He's not going to be able to sit back and continue to be passive, because he's being pushed into service and this cleansing and purification process when it comes to this exploration of this deep soul connection. So I think a lot of changes when it comes to the nervous system and the emotional body, and the masculine is going to be learning how to be more disciplined and how to approach the feminine to ensure that this cycle comes to completion this lifetime. So I do feel the masculine is going to be running into a lot of temptation this week with the karmic energy. You know, bright, shiny objects of fascination, all that glitters is not gold. And this is part of completing this karmic plan in order for the twins to achieve all of their goals and their objectives moving forward. So you might find a lot of scattered, unrealized thought processes coming to the surface that is kind of asking us to kind of tidy up this mess, to clarify our objectives, and to plan our action moving forward when it comes to bringing all of our manifestations forward, when it comes to our intentions that we've set, completing these karmic cycles. So although a lot of these masculines have hated needing to look back on the past, this unfinished business with the divine feminine deserves to be resolved once and for all. Many of us have been in separation for very long, and I feel as the masculine taps into this progressive thinking, he's learning that he needs to kind of build on solid foundations that he already began to lay with the divine feminine in the past. And all of those badly laid foundations in the false contracts are then going to be broken down. That structure can no longer stand if we are to safely build these unions for the future. On Friday, March the 18th, we do have the Sun sextile Pluto. So this really is going to give us the energy and the capacity to shed and let go of all of these negative aspects in our life in order to clear the groundwork for this new timeline, for this new life. And this energy really is going to enhance growth for the twins. It's going to increase our desires and our needs to succeed in life. And I feel the masculine is going to feel even more determined when it comes to stepping into his purpose, and any obsessive or compulsive tendencies that the masculine has harnessed in the past are going to be broken down, because they're no longer going to be of use in his life. So it's like cleaning up this messy bad habit that he's played into all of this time, and all of these negative effects are going to be coming back on the masculine, and this is going to increase the level of attractiveness that the feminine is holding when it comes to her sexual, mysterious nature. And I feel, you know, the masculine is becoming aware of his power and his influence. And it's kind of this energy of sifting through all of this past baggage to release all of these past life abuses and misuse of his powers and his gifts. And I feel the masculine is in this state of extreme self-destruction, with all of these challenging Pluto aspects coming up. So, you know, we are here to embrace our benevolent powers when it comes to helping others, spiritual groups of people. And I feel the masculine is learning to deepen his interest in, you know, in the mysteries of life, learning about these occult subjects that the feminine has already mastered. And I feel the masculine is, you know, entering into this studying interaction when it comes to this psychological perspective of the journey. And then we also have Venus sextile Chiron. So this is going to really bring up a lot of our deepest insecurities that really are needing to be faced and healed once and for all. Whenever Chiron is involved in any planetary aspect, it does spell a little bit of trouble, because we do have to feel this pain. And, you know, Chiron truly is known as the wounded healer. And with Chiron in Aries right now, it is all about self-identity, no matter where your Chiron placement is at. And I will be doing an in-depth video on that later this week. So, you know, Chiron is bringing forward a lesson that's intended to help us get out of this loop of pain that we keep playing into. So, you know, with a sextile with Venus, the planet of love, it's going to be pretty clear that we're going to have to clean up some past baggage when it comes to our love life. That's what's going to be on the line with that transit. So relationships in particular and relationship wounds and trauma are coming up to be addressed and will be at the forefront of the healing energy this week. So, you know, I think the masculine must actively seek out a way to, you know, heal this wound, this rejection wound. And I think it's important that we kind of face all of these wounds, bring them to the surface in order to release all of this stagnancy. So, you know, a lot of the twins are being called this week to look deep into our relationship psyche, to figure out where we have repeated these negative relationship patterns so we can fix that cycle once and for all. You know, many of us get into relationships over and over that are very toxic, that kind of bring forward this fear of abandonment. And this is really what keeps us from stepping into the relationship that's meant for us. So Chiron really is asking us all to go deep within this wound. And when we do this energy work, that is how we can heal at the deepest level. And then we can step into long-lasting, lifetime partnerships within loving relationships, no matter how painful it is to go into this Chiron wound. This truly is our gift, because with Venus ruling love, love is what we all came for. Love is all that there is. And, you know, love does cause us a lot of pain along our journey. So, you know, I think this is going to be one of the most intense transits that we're going to have to go through on this twin flame journey. But this is going to also be the most beneficial transit if you're willing to do the deep dive and to do the shadow work when it comes to these relationship issues. And then on that same day, we also have the full moon in Virgo at 27 degrees 39. So, you know, this full moon is forming an opposition to the sun in Pisces, you know, the yin and the yang. And this full moon really is the culmination and the promise of fulfillment of that which we started when we, you know, embarked upon this awakening journey. So I do feel it is going to be a very intense emotional time. It will be a time of romance and fertilization when it comes to these twin flame relationships. And whenever I think of the Virgo-Pisces axis, it is a service axis. I'm a Pisces rising, 7th house Virgo. I'm also a Virgo moon. So this energy is pressing us to find a balance between our day-to-day functions, our physical health. Virgo is all about order and structure, and Pisces is all about spiritual health, vision, disorder, and the infinite. So it's finding the balance between the two. Virgo gives us the tools and the techniques that we need to, you know, get grounded in our everyday to-day life. And Pisces gives us the tools to manage our spiritual selves. So I think get ready to face some sort of crisis of some sort during the Virgo full moon. And this likely is going to be a crisis of consciousness, Christ consciousness, or this sudden epiphany, this sudden awareness of what is lacking in your lives. And this is going to open up the golden doorway to explore our deep emotional needs and to embrace the polarity of the Pisces Virgo axis. So we're kind of being asked to strike that balance between our work and service life, practicality and impracticality, criticism and acceptance. So this is going to really illuminate all of these energies in our own personal life and our own personal journeys. So I think we are being urged to bring forward all of these new feelings, all of these new revelations, which are likely going to be a lot of emotional revelations, a lot of emotions bursting forth into our consciousness that have been repressed in the subconscious mind. So this full moon in Virgo is saying, hey, it's time to express yourself and to let these things out of our emotional body, out of our system. So it's kind of like this energy of I'm coming out. So it's like the masculine coming out of the spiritual closet, even though he might not have a grounding on this particular rationality yet. So I think it's this energy of eyes wide open, and the masculine has had his eyes wide shut, playing into all of these unhealthy habits and these negative routines. So I think the masculine's going to be receiving all kinds of intuitive messages from his higher self with this moon aspect. And with the Virgo moon also harmonizing with Pluto, this is suggesting a lot of change and transformation so we can finally, get started in these healthy relationship patterns. So I think the masculine is really being pushed to better himself, to get out of that very toxic karmic situation. And the revelations occurring during this lunation are really bringing forward a lot of positive changes. So with this full moon, occurring in Virgo, it is going to affect the mutable signs very, very deeply. So if you've got major Gemini, Virgo, Sag, or Pisces placements, I think get ready for this full moon to bring in some very intense energies, as well as the cardinal signs, which would be Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, because by the end of the week, we're entering into Aries season, a cardinal energy, a leadership energy. And I'm going to talk about that too, and how this all links into this Chiron aspect. So, that full moon really is bringing forward this pursuit for freedom, stepping into unconventional relationships. And on Saturday, on the 19th, the day after that full moon, we do have Venus square Uranus. So this is going to create all kinds of challenges when it comes to unstable relationships, and unexpected urges and events to break free and to step into freedom. So a lot of these masculines are feeling very smothered, confined, and bored in these karmic contracts, and they're likely going to lash out with a lot of anger when it comes to the karmic's very destructive negative behaviors. So, a lot of these masculines are seeking healthy relationships, but, they've been dealing with all kinds of drama in their life with this karmic partner, and I feel this increased stimulation for satisfaction in the masculine's life, and this demanding karmic partner is trying to stir up all kinds of trouble for the divine masculine. And I feel this resistance to change. The karmic doesn't want to embrace these changes. The karmic wants to hold on tight to something that does not belong to her. And this is going to trigger all kinds of unexpected action by the masculine, because the masculine's not amused by this very immature energy anymore. And these karmic novelties are no longer going to suffice. The masculine is so tired of this immature energy, and I feel he's breaking free and going to be taking a risk this week when it comes to these new romantic partnerships and the doorways opening up. So these long-term karmic relationships are coming to an end. They were never ever meant to last in the first place. They were put on the divine masculine's path as that mirror to be that karmic lesson for him. And then, a lot of impulse energy coming forward as we enter into the spring equinox on Sunday, with the sun entering into Aries. So this is very enthusiastic and spontaneous energy coming through. And the masculine is going to be motivated to conquer the lower ego and to go after his true desire, which is you, divine feminine. So a lot of impulsive urges when it comes to initiating some action is what I'm feeling. You know, the ruler of Aries is the planet Mars, masculine, and this symbolizes some very powerful energy when it comes to health, the masculine finding his fighting spirit and stepping into these leadership skills with the divine feminine. So a lot of courageous, decisive energy when it comes to the masculine's life, and him finally being able to do the work, to find his confidence, to come forward, and all of this lack of deliberation is going to be kind of thrown out the window. So, you know, I think a lot of the masculines are experiencing extreme upheaval, rock bottom energy, but when the sun enters into Aries, it's going to give this bounce back energy for the masculine to, you know, to release all of this shame that he's been carrying by choosing the karmic partner. So Aries is a very brave energy. It is a pioneer energy, direct energy. And I feel, although the masculine's been very short-sighted and lacked that discernment, when the sun enters into Aries, this is going to trigger a lot of action moving forward. So let's jump in with some cards and see what else needs to come through for the twins for the week ahead. I do feel a lot of ego development coming through. I'm just going to grab a drink of my coffee. I likely won't be doing a daily message today with the kids being home on March break, but this is kind of where the masculine is at, that void, self-development, ego development. I think a lot of the masculines are recognizing where they really have neglected themselves, this relationship, where they're needing to bring nurturing into this connection for their growth. I think they're doing a lot of work right now in the void, in the darkness, shifting their perceptions. A lot is shifting below the surface, divine feminine, that you might not be aware of. So I do highly suggest meditation. Connect with your twin soul in those higher dimensions. That's where I get most of my messages, is in meditation. So we'll see what needs to come through. Be open to receiving. A lot of the masculines are receiving all kinds of clarity in the mind space, and I feel they are going within into meditation when it comes to their soul's purpose. So they're receiving a lot of open communication from the spiritual realm, and I think they are trying to center themselves as all of this energy is flowing through them, encouraging them to release the baggage of the past. I think a lot of illumination when it comes to their purpose, when it comes to the fact that they are a very powerful light being, a very powerful light worker, here to shine healing light on humanity, stepping into this great purpose with the divine feminine this lifetime. So the angels are encouraging the masculine to embrace this calling and to remember what they came here to do, to demonstrate love and compassion, to practice positivity, and to be mindful of all of this negative self-talk. A lot of these masculines have played into these limiting self-behaviors, which really have kept them stuck and stagnant and energetically depleted, and it's kind of time for the masculine to break free. So I think a lot of the masculines are going to be triggered and put to the test this week in order to address these negative patterns once and for all within themselves and within the karmic contracts, in order to, you know, bring up this behavior that is needing to be corrected at this time. And I think, yeah, major life challenges and changes ahead coming forward this week for the masculine, in order for him to embrace this expansion and embrace this change. I think a lot is coming forward in order for the masculine to step into self-development. So let's see what needs to come through on the divine feminine side. And they keep flipping on the masculine side, so we will see what needs to come through for the feminine. I think you might be facing a challenge ahead too, which is going to bring forward a major breakthrough when it comes to improving your life. So yeah, usually we mirror energies. I think the masculine is experiencing extreme upheaval, and you're going to probably be met with a series of challenges to test your beliefs, to test, you know, standing in that light of truth. And I think you're kind of stepping into a major breakthrough. I do feel a lot of the feminine's hard work and perseverance really has paid off. You know, this is a good week to get outside and ground the energy. It's beautiful here today, sunny. I know with the kids home, I plan on doing a lot of work outside. Definitely you want to connect with Mother Earth, because the masculine is playing into a lot of fear because I do feel they've recently gone through some major upheaval or are about to, in order to shatter all of these illusions of the mind, to simply experience this unconditional love with the feminine. So I think the masculines are going through a period of rest after some upheaval. I think they fear looking you in the eye, because you truly do have the power to break them, break them. So, you know, I think you are definitely the teacher in this situation, Divine Feminine, and, you know, you are just encouraged to connect with your guides as the masculine releases this very tough karmic situation. I think a lot of the feminines really have learned this lesson, embraced their gifts as part of this human experience, and we've evolved beyond that karmic cycle. And I feel as we kind of, you know, pay attention to the signs and the synchronicities, I also feel a lot of the feminines are in the flow. The syncs the other day was 999, 666, 777. So that's the numbers that I seen the other day. So 999 is a clear indication of, closure, completion. So rounding the end of this cycle. So I feel a lot of the feminines are receiving that communication from their guides through all of these numbers, symbols, and other signs. So do pay attention to that, because the universe is saying, hey, you're in the flow. Good job. Good job at mastering this lesson. And as we kind of step into this self-mastery, this is triggering this seeking energy on the masculine side, this strong curiosity towards the feminine when it comes to this deeper meaning of this connection. So I think as the veil of illusion kind of gets lifted, because the masculine couldn't see things at face value, as the veil of illusion is lifted, he's re-examining this situation again, seeing it from a different angle, stepping into unconditional love. So as you deepen your relationship to yourself, Divine Feminine, it is triggering the masculine to go through this deep transformation, seeking that truth. I think there's a lot of anger coming up when it comes to the lies, the gossip, the manipulation of the karmic. A lot of these karmics spread all kinds of lies about the Divine Feminine, along with that karmic social circle. And I think all of this is coming to light, and it is triggering a lot of anger, because I do feel the feminine really is speaking to the masculine's heart and soul this week when it comes to all of these negative relationships and external factors that are kind of being stripped away for the masculine to step into service of his higher purpose. So a lot of the feminines have mastered their soul's language, that soul song, that resonance. And this is motivating the masculine to come forward with that love offer. I think the masculine is dealing with a lot of criticism with the social structure. And this really is a reflection of everything that he is needing to heal within himself. So disconnect and relax. And that is exactly what my guides had asked me to do. Disconnect from social media. So if you see in the description box, the Facebook link is down temporarily while I kind of purge and cleanse my space energetically. As the masculine is learning these very painful karmic lessons, the feminine is encouraged to disconnect and relax, kind of to just be in the now and be in the flow as the masculine, you know, gets all of this clarity, which I think is very emotional for him to be sitting in at this time. He's reading between the lines when it comes to this stuckness, preparing to seize that opportunity and to fix what's broken, but there's that fear of rejection, because many of the masculines have left us on red for so long. I think they fear that the feminine is going to return the favor to them, and that's really what keeps them from traveling towards the feminine, is that fear, those inadequacy issues. So the masculine's really needing to release those fears of inadequacy, because I do feel he is preparing to close out this karmic cycle and to travel towards this past life connection, seeking forgiveness. They see you clearly as that life partner, and there's definitely a storm of brewing as the masculine prepares to, you know, come to your house and visit you. I think get ready for the masculine to show up at your house, because they're definitely needing that guidance. They see you as that lighthouse, that beacon, that pillar of strength. And they're dreaming of you, all right? So pay attention to your dreams as well. They know it's time to seek that guidance. They hope and pray that, you know, they can come forward. I think they're secretly dreaming of taking action, maybe wanting to take you on vacation. They've definitely been hiding the truth from everybody, and I think all of that is coming out this week, because we are stepping into mastery, longevity when it comes to fulfilling these soul contracts. When we do come into union, we will live a very long and fulfilling life together. We will be together deep into old age. And I think, you know, this really is a week of a lot of fond reflection as we step into mastery of all of the thousands of lifetimes that we have shared. And I think, you know, as the masculine comes forward into that mastery with the feminine, many followers will look to the twins for advice and guidance along the awakening journey. So I think get ready to blend your families. I know my counterpart has 3 children and I have 2. So that would make, you know, a house of 7, 7th heaven. So I think get ready to immediately be blessed with a very large extended family right shortly as the masculine comes forward with that offer of love, offer of commitment, quite possibly even an engagement of some sort. So I think the twins are coming into those blessings of, you know, blending the families together. And I feel this really is triggering a lot of resentment with the karmic, because she's playing the victim. She's definitely, you know, getting left out in the cold, basically, you know, stepping into being that widow. She's definitely feeling the pain and the loss of the masculine, and there is a lot of resentment as the karmic is in this very skewed perception. She was the wrongdoing energy when it comes to the divine feminine. She actually, you know, sought the masculine and stole the masculine from the feminine. A lot of them have. And I think what goes around comes around. And now the karmic is the victim when it comes to needing to gain back her strength and take her power back. A lot of these karmics drained the divine feminine's energy. So divine feminine, you are going to want to protect yourself from this very resentful, bitter karmic feminine who's experiencing a lot of loss right now. So do be careful, because the feminine, the karmic feminine, is going to be reacting out of this victim mentality and out of a state of fear, likely lashing out. So if your counterpart hasn't reached out yet, it's likely to protect you from this very aggressive karmic energy that is probably seeking revenge out of resentment. So I do feel the twins are stepping into the royal blood mission, that blood lineage activation when it comes to the crowning and stepping into being the heir of the throne, the heir of this mission, stepping into our galactic origins. A lot of starseed activations when it comes to this higher education. A lot of higher learning and hard-earned energy coming forward when it comes to this human experience, this life, and stepping into our highest purpose, being that light for humanity. So a lot of the karmics, you know, have been very codependent on the masculine when it comes to a father wound, and the karmics are just going to have to learn to be self-reliant. They have a very unhealthy sense of self-esteem, which has created this very dependent energy on the divine masculine. And I feel a lot of the feminines are stepping into fame and fortune, and a lot of public recognition, and this is triggering the masculine to come back and seek that forgiveness. So let's jump in with some cards, with some tarot. Strength to take the blinders off. So a lot of the masculines are finding their strength and their determination to, you know, to take the blinders off, to take the rose-colored glasses off, and to prepare to travel towards the divine feminine. We're going to see what needs to come through on the divine masculine side. I think things are getting worse in the mind space with the 9 of Swords. Wanted to kind of come out reversed when it comes to all of that combative energy between the head and the heart. A lot of ego battles going on internally, a lot of internal conflict when it comes to the masculine, you know, coming forward with that love offer, with that apology. A lot of deep internal reflection and internal conflict when it comes to this karmic rebalancing. So I think after the moon shifts out of Virgo, it will go directly into Libra. And I believe that is when the masculine is going to take action towards you. So get ready for an unexpected shakeup, because the divine masculine is releasing those addictive qualities, preparing to come forward and, you know, work together with you and to finally heal this past betrayal. So the masculines are in the throes of this transformation this week, shedding all of these negative vices. I feel a lot of the karmics bit the masculine. The snake has bit the masculine. And these cycles are coming full circle. So do expect to hear from your masculine this week. I do feel he will be reaching out with some communication, or even quite possibly showing up at your house. So we'll see what needs to come through on your end, Divine Feminine. The King of Swords, the King of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles. So truth, passion, brand new abundant beginning. I think you're going to be receiving a gift from the universe. You're definitely grounded and stable. A lot of the feminines, you know, have stepped into their worth and their value. A lot of us have stepped into our co-creative journey, our entrepreneurial journey, you know, this new creative, passionate endeavor. And we are healing these spiritual unions this week. So get ready for a lot of communication, a lot of healing. The masculine is coming forward with a lot of passionate communication, a lot of truth, a lot of downloads when it comes to this union. And we will spend, you know, our life together into old age. So this really is our wishes being granted. And I'm hearing that song, Trampoline. I think it's called Trampoline. You know, I had a dream. I got everything that I wanted, but boy, was it hell getting here, right? So let's get a few twin flame messages. I will pull from the Rose Oracle. So there's that power struggle. The masculine's dealing with all kinds of conflicting energies stemming from this past life karma that he is needing to clear this life. So, you know, I think the masculine is trying to look for the silver lining in this very karmic experience. And we are definitely going to need to get grounded, Divine Feminine, as the masculine embraces all of these cosmic healing energies and clearing these past life struggles, learning these major karmic soul lessons, receiving all kinds of galactic downloads. I know I was receiving all kinds of light code activations last week. And when I do that, you know, we have to purge those lower energies. And so the further along the ascension journey you get, the easier it is to kind of transmute those downloads. And I feel a lot of the feminines really are just encouraged to meditate, go within, meditate, and to help the masculine work through this very overwhelming fear coming up when it comes to co-creating this journey. So we are manifesting these new soul contracts. We are in the process of closing out all of these old cycles. So Divine Feminine, allow yourself to go into the stillness. And that's where the awareness and the answers are going to lie, as the masculine releases all of these doubts about coming together and opening up to the love that the feminine has to offer. So I got a little knockoff Romance Angel deck yesterday that, because I don't want to use my good deck. You can't find these decks anymore. So I think we're encouraged to stay optimistic about our love life and to return to a state of playfulness. So I know for me, where I'm at, enjoy being home with the kids this week on March break. Really go into that childlike innocence. That will likely really help you work through these energies this week. We will see what else needs to come through with the Romance Angels. So healing family issues, getting to know each other, and retreat. So I think get ready to retreat together. It really is time to have that heart-to-heart conversation, to get to know each other again, our innermost selves again, and to deepen these bonds. It's really time for the twins to disconnect from the world together, because we are coming into those higher contracts with the wedding and the soulmate card. Yes, this is the love of your life, Divine Feminine. This situation will involve marriage. We're already married in those higher realities. So I think get ready for some passion to be reignited and some romantic feelings to be stirred that we're going to be exploring again at a deeper level. So the Sun, enjoy life. A lot of life force energy is really being activated And I feel a lot of the feminines are encouraged to just embrace their uniqueness. We are in this fertile void. We've been in a very long, drawn out winter energy, resting, embracing patience. Patience is a virtue. And this really is the start of this secret beginning is what I'm feeling. The blueprint is within you. So I feel a lot of soul blueprint activation and the grandmother's gift. So remember your roots. Trust in the weavings that your ancestors are bringing forward. I know my grandmother granted me this wish. My grandmother passed away in 2016 while I was expecting my youngest daughter. And she came to me as a guide. Well, she comes to me all the time. But we need to remember we are held as we go through this activation from our ancestors on the other side. And I feel the masculine is experiencing divine rapture in order to restore the ecstasy of this connection is kind of what I'm feeling. So we will see what else needs to come through. What else do we need to be aware of with these energies, please? The Great Mother. So surrendering to the mysteries of this connection. The masculine really is encouraged to fall into the arms of the divine feminine. He's definitely going to need your healing energy after all of this comes full circle. A lot of ancient expression coming forward, a lot of activations when it comes to these Sisterhood of the Rose codes, and that is creating that divine rapture for the divine masculine, definitely being pushed into devotion with the divine feminine. Oh my God, and we are preparing for that great reunion. So it's that soul recognition coming through for the divine masculine when it comes to this cosmic collaboration, this partnership. And it is this coming home and returning to one another. We are never, ever truly broken. We need to trust in this process because a lot of healing is happening this week as we prepare to return to each other with that compassion for this humanity mission. So let's read into this reunion energy. I can hear the girls arguing upstairs, so don't mind that. So this really is the week where we release all of these old programs of competition, you versus me, and we open up to this relationship, this collaborative relationship. It is safe for us to enter into this co-creation journey now, as the masculine opens up his heart and his mind to this collaboration rather than trying to compete with the divine feminine. So I feel the feminine is really opening up to her own accord, revealing her true beauty without any waver. And this is attracting the masculine at the soul level. He is choosing to walk alongside you this week, divine feminine. So open up your heart to this joint soul mission, because we are here to remember that we are never in competition with one another. Rather, we are all here to hold those sacred keys for one another along this journey in order to bloom as a collective. So I think get ready to receive confirmation from your counterpart this week or from a third party that he will be coming forward and entering your life very soon when it comes to this co-creative journey, because we are returning to one another. We are returning to balance this week. Mother Rose is on page 94, which does break down to a 13, death, rebirth. Give me 1 second here, guys. Returning to each other. So I think, it's been a long journey, and we've had to find our way back to ourselves. And as we find our way back to ourselves, divine feminine, that is when we can find our way back to each other as a collective. So I think that the divine masculine is finally ready to acknowledge the difficulties within this connection and to fill his heart with compassion for the journey. So we are doing this for humanity. So the masculine is encouraged to drop his fear defenses and to reach out to the feminine with deep honesty and compassion, because these roots run very deep. And I think it's about time that we find that common ground together. So as difficult as it is, the masculine is going to have to face the hurt that he's caused you. and he's learning to soften his self-expression to come forward with that truth without that defensive energy attached. So opening up to the possibilities that maybe there are two truths that can exist at once, because we're kind of breaking free from this division timeline and releasing everything that no longer serves us, learning and unlearning all of these lessons. And it's kind of time to mend this thread that the twins share for this humanity mission. So whatever's been broken, separated, and severed, we are returning into union, and a lot is being acknowledged when it comes to our creative endeavor moving forward this week. So a lot of entanglement as the masculine faces this deep honesty, this sadness, this anger, and this hurt in his heart in order to return to the feminine's grace for this deep root healing. So that's kind of what I got for a message for the week ahead, guys. I hope this helped. I really hope this resonated. If you would like to book a personal or a twin flame reading with me, please feel free to check out that description box below. And I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.